Water, you always hear water. Sometimes water's shallow, so it's wide but not deep, but we are deep and wide in league. How many leagues are involved in work on water issues? We did a survey, and so on the table you'll see those maps that look like that. Each of those leagues that responded, we sent a survey to all the leagues in the country. 59 leagues responded, and Idaho was not one. So we know there's 60 leagues doing water work. So, oh, maybe they did respond. I see. Well, anyhow, so a lot of work going on there. 26 states are active in water issues that responded, and they work on issues but from oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, and groundwater. And those that couldn't be with us today, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about. So, in Massachusetts, for example, they told us they work on drinking water, source protection, nutrient pollution, groundwater, toxic contaminations, water scarcity. That surprised me, but water scarcity out east, climate change, and flooding. And their focus areas, so Plymouth is in kind of this part of, can you see that? Oh, it doesn't show. Yeah, it's south of Boston. So anyhow, they look out at Cape Cod, and their aquifer is the aquifer in Cape Cod. The next one, going across the country, Washington, in Clallam County, they've been conducting a survey for 6 months on watersheds, and they need help. And so I think that part of what we're doing here today is to see where people can connect and share and learn from one another. And so that's good. Spokane is looking at toxics and PCBs in the river, contamination from the Air Force Base. Oh, there they go by themselves. Oregon, the Deschutes River. Judy knows the Deschutes River. And there they've been doing a study. They're working on a basin-wide study on diversion. And so that's an issue. They're thirsty out west, and they're looking at the influence of taking water away. Other parts of Oregon, LWB Oregon, is working in the Regional Columbia River Treaty with Canada, and they're publishing studies. And we will put, so I'm going to do a report on this too. So I have a draft report now, which is on the website, and I have some copies, and when we get the final one done, it'll be on our website, and we'll ballyhoo that a lot, so you won't miss that. California was interesting. Do you know where Benicia is? Benicia is where the Sacramento River comes into San Francisco Bay. And there's a lot of issues there with a twin tunnel pipeline taking water from Northern California to Southern California. And so they're working on issues relating to that. And then Southern California is working on ways to find more water. Not surprising. And so they're also working on water reuse. Water reuse is something that will be very important in the future. So that's something that California's doing. Utah, they had a water conservation open house. They do education. They're working, of course, on scarcity and groundwater protection. The report that they sent me was very good, and so that's something that we'll highlight in there. Wyoming does a lot, too, with the Casper Aquifer. When we find that there's a single water resource for an area, that the leagues are active in those areas, making sure that's protected, and so that's good. And they have a special purpose tax vote coming up here next months that would bring another $250,000 into monitoring. So, League has a long history of water work, and the work's going on today. This is the upper Mississippi River region. If you were at our annual meeting, you know that we are active and doing a lot of stuff. This was the people from, that was the contingent from Iowa at our first meeting. And so I think that our region represents 4 states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Iowa. So there we go. Water is life indeed.